Hello, kids! Once again, it's Josh here, and it's time for another episode of the Bible in an Atheist Point of View, where I, the atheist, the heathen, the infidel, the godless bastard that I am reading from the New International Version of the Bible from cover to cover, one chapter at a time and one chapter per video, for the fact that it must be read, it must be heard, and it's absolutely fucking hysterical. Now, where I left off, before I go on, of course, now where I left off is Deuteronomy Deuteronomy chapter 4. Let's read. Verse 1. And now, O Israel, how do you like your genocide? Listen to the statutes and the rules that I am teaching you, and do them, that you may live, and go in and take possession of the land of the Lord, the God of your fathers, is giving you. Verse 2, you shall not add to the word that I command you, nor take from it. And yet it has been done. How many versions of the Bible do we have? All right then. That you may keep the commandment of the Lord your God that I have commanded you. Verse 3, your eyes have seen what the Lord did at Baal Peor. For the Lord your God destroyed from among you all of the men who followed the Baal of Peor. Peon. Verse 4, but you who held fast to the Lord your God are all alive today. That's because you weren't on the other side. Verse 5, see, I have taught you statutes and rules. That's a fucking joke. As the Lord my God commanded me, that you should do them in the land that you are entering to take possession of it. It's okay to steal from somebody else. Don't steal from our tribe, though. That's breaking a commandment. Verse 6, keep them and do them, for that you will be your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the peoples, who, when they hear all these statutes, will say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. They don't have a fucking clue. Verse 7, for what great nation is there that a God so near to it as to the Lord our God is to us whenever we call upon him? Right? Verse 8, and what great nation is there that has statutes and rules so righteous as all this law that I set before you today? Please, no more anticipation, God, tell us. Only take care and keep your soul diligently. Such big words. Lest you forget the things that your eyes have seen, and lest they depart from your heart and all the days of your life. It's a lot of days, considering they live to be like 800. Making them known to your children and your children's children, and your children's 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 children. Verse 10, how on the day that you stood before the Lord your God at Horeb, the Lord said to me, Horeb, gather the people to me, and I may let them hear my words, so that they may learn to fear me all the days that they live on the earth, and that they may teach their children so. Terrible. Yeah, I know, I'm a snot-nosed brat. You. Verse 11, and you came near and stood at the foot of the mountain. The foot of the mountain. The mountain had a foot? Did it have arms? While the mountain burned with fire to the heart of heaven, wrapped in darkness, cloud and gloom. Gloom and doom for you. Verse 12, then the Lord spoke to you out of the midst of the fire. Fire! Come on, baby, light my fire. You heard the sounds of words, but sound of form. There was only a voice. Maybe he was on the intercom. Verse 13, and he declared to you this covenant which he commanded you to perform, that is, the 10 Commandments, and he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone. Oh, am I at the part now? Oh, fine. Verse 14, and the Lord commanded me at this time to teach you statutes and rules, that you might do them in the land that you are going over to possess and steal. Before we tell you that you cannot steal. Therefore, watch yourselves very carefully, since you saw no form on the day that the Lord spoke to you at the Horeb, out of the midst of fire. Verse 16, beware lest you act corruptly by making a carved image for yourselves in the form of any figure, the likeness of male or female. You don't paint a dick on it, we'll know. Verse 17, the likeness of any animal that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged bird that flies in the air. Verse 18, the likeness of anything that creeps on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the water under the earth. Okay. Lava fish. Verse 19, and beware lest you raise your eyes to heaven. And when you see the sun and the moon and the stars and all the hosts of heaven. I love how there's a typo in here. It should be like more than one, but... a typo in the Bible? No, that never happens. You will be drawn away and bow down to them and serve them. Things that the Lord your God has allotted to all the peoples under the whole heaven. Not the half heaven, the whole heaven. Could be 3/4. Verse 20, but the Lord has taken you and brought you out of the iron furnace. They had the capability of building iron furnaces back then. Out of Egypt, to be a people of his own inheritance, as you are on this day. Oh, that's right, he had an iron bed and an iron dildo. See, please see previous video. Verse 21, furthermore, the Lord was angry with me because of you, which he made for you and made a carved image, the form of anything that the Lord your God has forbidden you. Of course. Well, maybe if you know what you look like, asshole, we'll make one of you! Oh, that's right, you've never technically shown yourself, at least not in this passage. Verse 24, the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. A jealous God. Seriously? He makes them and then he's jealous of his own creation. Sure, I'll go for that. A jealous God. Fuck. He's also a douchebag God. Verse 25, when you father children and children's children, and have grown old in the land. If you act corruptly by making a carved image in the form of anything, and by doing what is evil in the sight of the Lord your God, so as to provoke him to anger. Don't piss him off! Don't provoke Yahweh! Don't poke a stick in him. Do not feed the Yahweh! Verse 26. I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that you will soon utterly perish, from the land that you are going over to Jordan to possess. You will not live in it, but you will be utterly destroyed. You'll just go there and die and be utterly just explode. Verse 27, and the Lord will scatter you among the people. And you will be left few in number among the nations where the Lord will drive you. Drive? What, he got a car? What is Yahweh now a taxi driver? He's driving the bus. He's driving the Greyhound. Verse 28, and there you will serve gods of wood and stone. What? He just told not to! The work of the human hands that neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell, nor think. Don't forget, nor think. Verse 29, but from there you will seek the Lord your God, and you will find him. If you search after him with all your heart, with all your soul, you might find him on a slice of toast. Verse 30, when you are in tribulation and all these things come upon you in the latter days, you will be turned to the Lord your God and obey his voice and kiss his ass for all eternity. Verse 31, for the Lord your God is a merciful God. Yeah, I can't tell. He will not leave you or destroy you or forget the covenant with your fathers that he swore to you. He just told you he was going to. You fucking... you dyslexic cocksucker God. Verse 32, for ask now of these days that are past, which were before you, which the day that God created man on the earth. Sure he did. And ask from one end of heaven to the other, whether such a great thing as this has ever happened, or was it ever heard of? Or maybe it was just complete bullshit to begin with. Maybe. Verse 33, did any of you ever hear the voice of a God speak out to the midst of fire, as you have heard and still live? Only if they're schizophrenic. 4 out of 5 voices in my head agree that one of them's God. 34. Or has any God ever attempted to go and take a nation for himself from the midst of another nation, by trials, by signs, by wonders, and by war, and by mighty hand, and by an outstretched arm? And by great deeds of terror. Oh, that's more godlike. Terror, yes. Oh, which the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes. Half eyes, maybe. Verse 35, to you it was shown that you might know that the Lord is God, therefore is no other beside him. Verse 36, out of heaven he let you hear his voice, but he might discipline you. And on earth he let you see his great fire, and you heard his words out from the midst of the fire. Were the words on fire too? Little flaming balls of words, just terror, kill, fireworks. And verse 37, and because he loved your fathers and hated them at the same time, and choose their offspring after them, and brought you out of Egypt with his own presence by his great power. What a crock of shit. Verse 38, driving out. Oh, there he goes. He's getting in the bus again. Driving out before your nations greater and mightier than you, to bring you in. Bring you in what? The bar? To give you their land for an inheritance. It is this day. Verse 39, know before the day that, and lay it to your heart, that the Lord is God in heaven above and on the earth beneath. There is no other. What about Zeus, huh? Alright then, fine. Verse 40. Therefore you shall keep his statutes and his commandments, which I command you today, that it may go well with you and with your children after you. After you, before you, with you. You. It's all about you, isn't it? And that you may prolong your days in the land of the Lord your God is giving you for all time. You motherfuckers. Verse 41, then Moses set apart 3 cities in the east beyond the Jordan. Verse 42, that the manslayer has returned. And let the wrestling begin. Might flee there. Anyone who kills his neighbor unintentionally. Sorry, dude, didn't mean to back over you. I didn't mean to accidentally give you the arsenic. My bad, I thought that was cocoa. Without being an enmity with him in times past, he may flee to one of these cities and save his life. Verse 43, Bezer, in the wilderness on the tableland. The tableland. For the Reunites, Ramoth in Gilead for the Gadites, and Golan in Bashan for the Manassites. Verse 44, this is the law that Moses set before the people of Israel. Verse 45, these are the testimonies, the statutes, and the rules which Moses spoke to the people of Israel when they came out of Egypt. He said it all. Verse 46, before the Jordan, in the valley opposite Beth Peor, in the land of Sihon, the king of Amorites, who lived at Heshbon, whom Moses and the people of Israel defeated when they came out of Egypt. He killed them all. That's right. Thou shalt not kill. Verse 47, and they took possession of his land and the land of Og. They took the ogre's land too. Of the Amorites who lived there to the east beyond the Jordan. From sounds like it's about right. Which is on the edge of the valley of the Arnon as far as Mount Cernion, that is, Hermon. Why don't you just call it Hermon? Stupid. Last verse. Together with all the Arabab on the east side of the Jordan, as far as the sea of Alabah, under the slopes of Pisgah. Pisgah! Pisgah? I wouldn't even name my cat that. Well, kids, once again, it's been Joshua. And this has been the Bible, Atheist Point of View.